Hello, everybody. I pray that everyone is well and blessed. I am live today. Today is Saturday, September 20th, and we are live today to journal for the new moon in Virgo, the second new moon in Virgo, for the partial solar eclipse, and also we're going to talk about the equinox. So, we're going to wait just a little bit to give people a chance to hop on, and then we will get started. Mm, so much happening. So much happening. Ooh, excuse me, energetically, which is why I'm in the car. You plan for things to go one way, and when they don't, you need to be flexible and be able to adjust. And so I'm in the truck today, but it's all good because this AC is wonderful. So we're gonna get started in very, very soon. We are going to be using, I didn't even bring the book, so we won't be reading the book, but I'll be using show you guys a couple of the cards, the oracle cards from the Moonology deck. We're going to journal using my Life and Lunar 2025 journal, and 144. I think that we should just go ahead and get started. So again, hello everybody. I pray that everyone is well and blessed. And we are journaling today for the new moon in Virgo, the second new moon in Virgo. We are also I'm going to give you guys actually briefly just some quick facts that I found that were very helpful for me to figure out or to learn about the energy that is happening currently. I will say this often if I don't say it every time. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not. But I love astrology. I love learning about it. I find it fascinating. And so for me, I just tried to do some research prior to getting on and going live. I'm going to turn my phone. Hopefully it doesn't overheat. Last time it overheated. So hopefully that's better out of the sun. I like to do some research before I hop on, and I find some information that resonates with me. Again, I'm not an astrologer, so if anything that I say doesn't resonate with you or doesn't sound right, or I'm on live, I'm not using like a script or a teleprompter, I'm just talking. So if I say the wrong information, charge it to my head, not my heart, and by all means go do your own research. So let me give you some very quick facts that I found. You can do your own research on Google, ChatGPT, whatever. You see my husband and doggy in the background. This is what I found. So, the new moon in Virgo, new moons represent new beginnings, clarity, and fresh intentions. Virgo energy talks about being practical, about being organized, health, a lot about health, a lot of health coming up, and about our routine structure. And it's new moons are a good time to start new habits, new self-care practice routines like exercise and diet changes and different things like that, or also a very good time to start new spiritual practices. Okay? So that is the new moon in Virgo. It is also a partial solar eclipse. Is that tomorrow? I believe it's tomorrow. Please don't quote me on that. It is tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow. So a partial solar eclipse, that is when, the notes say cosmic accelerators happen during partial solar eclipses. So basically they speed things up. And when it happens with a new moon, it is like a supercharged, like super strong, heightened, more potent new moon. So it's gonna just be prepared for like things like in a major way, major resets. They often can reveal things that are hidden, which is kind of more similar to a full moon, but that is, an eclipse. They're very powerful, and it just by showing you things that you're unaware of. It allows you to clear those things out and be open to new opportunities, new possibilities, new beginnings. And so just think of it like sudden transformations can happen. So that is information on a partial solar eclipse. Now the equinox. The equinox is when it's there's a balance between equal balance between the length of the day and the length of the night. So it's, I love, so balance. We're talking about balance. In the northern hemisphere, so I'm in the northern hemisphere. This is the autumn equinox, and it is a time for harvest, time for letting things go. In the southern hemisphere, that's why I did the research, because I don't know about the southern hemisphere, but what it says is that it's the spring equinox, and that it is a time for renewals, for blessings, for growth. And so whether it is the spring equinox or the autumn equinox, it is still about balance, about harmony, about being in alignment, and with ourselves, but also with nature. So let's see what else. This our notes say if there's anything else that I missed. So very simply, new moons are about fresh starts. Eclipses, they are about accelerated transformations, and an equinox talks about balance and harmony. So there you have it, your quick facts. Again, I'm not an astrologer, so if it doesn't resonate, look it up, find out some information that resonates with you. Okay? So we are, like I said, going to be using my Life and Lunar Journal. The journal prompts, if you don't have the journal, it's okay. I try to say this in each video, that the journal prompts are in the description. If you don't have this journal, you can use any journal, a piece of paper. You can open up your notes app on your phone, your voice app on your phone, your notes. You know what I'm talking about. And if not, just listen. You can just listen to as I ask the questions and answer them in your head, and that is the same thing. We don't have to make it more complicated than it is. You use what you have and don't stress if you don't have it. So before we do, I did forget the book, so I just wanted to show you a couple of cards of the Moonology deck that align with what the energy that we are in right now. The very first one is the new moon eclipse, and it says expect powerful changes. I love this card. It is so beautiful. I'm pretty sure I've showed that one before. And this one is a new moon in Virgo, and it is a time to give rather than take. And just a new moon period says a new start is coming. So I think that all of that aligns exactly with what we were talking about when I was talking about the quick facts. So let's journal. Okay. So I have my journal. I have already ripped out my page because I'm ready to go ahead and burn this from the full moon. Definitely will be changing that in the design if I decide to do this next year. So before we journal, I'm going to take some deep breaths, because I'm going to tell you, it has been just like crazy going in between the last eclipse and the full moon till now. I'm very sensitive to energy. I've learned that. I didn't know what that was when I was a child, but now as an adult having a spiritual awakening, I know that I'm very sensitive to energy. And so I have been trying to do my best to stay grounded, to be outside. I actually have been sitting out. September has been like the best month in my home, and I have been sitting outside every day, several times a day, just watching the beautiful butterflies and the dragonflies and the woodpeckers, and being grounded, trying to stay off of my phone, which is hard to do because we use our phone. I use my phone to meditate, to journal, for so many different things. And it's a lot of things that are happening in the news right now is very upsetting, or it just makes me hurt, makes my heart hurt. I don't like to see those things, so I'm trying to stay away from off of my phone. So let's take some deep breaths. We will journal and end this thing. Okay, so so amazing. Okay, so now that we have taken some deep breaths, we are going to journal. And the very first question, again, questions are in the description. I'm going to read them here. The very first one says, what area in your life is calling for a fresh start or a new routine? That is a very great question. I am looking to make some changes in my living situation and do some travel, of course, business, doing some, I'm looking at some things for next year. And so I would say in what area, definitely in my personal life as far as living, and then as far as business and work-wise, just working on some new products for next year. So that is, yes. The next question says, what limiting beliefs or fears are you ready to release in order to make space for growth? I always say fear just because fear is like the major thing for me that keeps me from doing things that I want to do, or I would say fear. It's always fear, but like fear or like, okay, how's it going to turn out? Or am I going to enjoy it? Or is it going to go well? So fear just shows up in different ways for me. So I'm going to say fear, and that's how I would answer those questions. And those are the journal questions, and we are at the end. I want to remind everyone that the energy is crazy. There's so much going on energetically, and whether we know it or not, whether we are aware of it or not, we are affected or have the ability to be affected by the astrological events that are going on. So be mindful of what is going on astrologically. Give yourself grace and mercy. Give others grace and mercy. And get outside, ground yourself. Get online, do some research, and see what information you can find that resonates with you to learn about what's happening astrologically that resonates with you. Because whatever they say, whoever they is, that knowledge is power. So get yourself some knowledge. So that is all that I have. Again, I pray everyone is well and blessed. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.